I know you ain't been lonely, and I've been going lonely.
Oh, power! You going to bed, nigga?
And I've been going lonely. I know you been feeling lonely. I know you want your own thing, and I've been smoking on strongly. I know you ain't been home, man. I know you been feeling lonely. I know you want your own thing, and I've been smoking on strong, baby. I know you ain't been home, baby. I know you want your own thing. I know you want your own thing. I'm smoking on strong, baby. All of my money, like Robert De Niro. I'm eating the hair on. I'm smoking gelato. She know what it be, though. All on the bar, so I'm there with these Bimbos. I ride in the Benzos. I ride in gelato. All in the Lambo. I'm worship the famo. She know what it be, though. I'm on the north side. This is my mind. Know what it be, though. I know you been feeling lonely. I know you want your own thing, and I've been smoking on strong, babe. I know you ain't been home, babe. I know you been feeling lonely. I know you want your own thing, and I've been smoking on strong, babe. I know you ain't been home, babe. I know you want your own thing. I know you want your own thing. She hit me on FaceTime. I tell her little bitch why. Tell her little bitch though. I let her go pie though. I heard her on Sky though. She know what it be though. I get her every day though. I've been busy though. Yeah. Bad little bitch in my car though. She a bad little bitch in my car. I tell her little bitch, you know you a star. I tell her little bitch, looking so good in your son.
Hold on, I'm in the building, y'all. I'm in the building, y'all.
I know you been feeling lonely. I know you want your own thing, and I've been smoking on strong, babe. I know you ain't been home, babe. I know you been feeling lonely. I know you want your own thing, and I've been smoking on strong, babe. I know you ain't been home, babe. I know you want your own thing.
Welcome to the check-in report. I am your humble yet gracious host, True and Livin. I am in the building. I am not your homie. I am the one and only Macaroni. Welcome to the show, y'all. Today's topic, and it's really like a double-parted topic. First, Black Americans have been getting targeted ever since the election results of the presidential race of 2024. Black Americans are reporting that they have been receiving text messages, racist text messages, calling for Black Americans to meet up and pick cotton. Very disrespectful, very disgusting, very deplorable. And today's it's a double topic question tonight. Are Donald Trump supporters and Donald Trump people that are pledge allegiance to MAGA, are they innately racist?
Oh my God!
I'm asking that question today. Listen, man. No more Kamala Harris. Listen, Kamala Harris is no longer a threat. She's no longer on the minds and the consciousness of America. Now we have to deal with racist Donald Trump supporters. I've had a lot of them come into this live some of them, listen, we broke bread with a lot of these racist Trump supporters. And I'm not saying every Trump supporter is racist, but clearly there may be a demographic of, of racist Trump supporters that maybe we need to address. So that's today's topic today. Are Trump supporters racist? And listen, these text messages that Black Americans have been receiving, they've been absolutely disgusting. I've read some of them. They're talking, racist nonsense jargon about, you meet up at 3:30. You're gonna pick cotton. This is just stupidity, ignorant, racist. Just very dumb. Very dumb. But we're gonna get into CNN. They reported on it. They talked about it. In a newscasting, and I wanted to just talk about salute to Nelly. Nelly's in the building. What's up, Nelly? Oh, that's Angela. My fault. Salute to Angela. My fault. Because you got the same avatar as Nelly. You got the purple with the purple and the thing on it. I thought that was Nelly. Salute to Angela though. Angela on the check-in. Salute to Angela. Yeah, we want to talk about are Trump supporters racist? Now again, I'm not making this indicative of all Trump supporters. I don't believe that all Trump supporters are racist. I don't believe that all Trump supporters subscribe to racist ideology and racist thoughts. But let's be honest, there's a sector in that MAGA supporting there's a sector in Donald Trump supporters, just like, how about this? There's a sector of racism in MAGA, just like there's a sector of racism in the liberal agenda, in the Democratic agenda. Salute to Sinclair. I see Sinclair's in it. What's up, Sinclair? Yeah, there's a sector of racism in all political agendas. I believe it exists in the liberal agenda, the Democratic agenda. I believe it exists in the Republican agenda, the conservative right-wing agenda. So, I'm not making this indicative of all Trump supporters. I'm just saying that we're just, addressing the sector that is, possibly targeting Black Americans, calling for them to pick cotton in one text message. We're going to get into the news report on CNN. Let's get into it. Let's get right into it.
The FBI is investigating reports of a wave of racist text messages hitting Black people's phones in multiple states. These messages are being reported in at least 8 states. And
now, did anybody Black in here receive any racist text messages? I live in New York. I checked my phone. I did not receive any racist text messages. Let me check my phone right now. This want to make sure. Just want to double check. Okay. Okay. Just want to check. Just want to make sure. Okay. All right. I'm just looking. Just making sure. Okay. Yeah. I don't have any racist text messages. Just want to make sure I don't have any. Of course, I don't want no racist text messages on my phone. Just want to make sure. But have any of you received any racist text messages after the election results? Black Americans are reporting that they received racist text messages calling on them to pick cotton. And some of these messages were personalized and had their names. They're reporting that some of these messages had their names and information and details on them. I wanted to know, has anybody received this? Anybody dealt with this? Angela says no. Okay, just want to hear from you guys if you've received any of this text messages from these individuals. Let's continue.
Many of the targets appear to be middle school, high school, and college-age students.
So, all right, mostly it's younger people. So middle school. I mean, they're attacking kids here. I mean, I'm thinking if you're in middle school, you're in high school, you're not even allowed to vote. You're not even allowed to vote. So clearly this may be a young person who set up these chain text messages, maybe a young Trump supporter, maybe a young Trumper, a Trump youth, if you will. Because I mean, if you're targeting all of these younger people, these Gen Zers, if you will, I mean, middle schoolers, high schoolers, college, young college people, clearly this must be a younger person that is doing this. Let's continue.
All of the messages following a pattern, sharing similar language, including racist rhetoric, that they had been, quote, selected to pick cotton. CNN's Gabe Cohen.
Can you imagine, your kids? I mean, here you raising your kids, you're doing the best that you can. You're in an affluent community. You're sending your school. You're sending your kid to school every day. You're teaching your kid to be a citizen of America. You're teaching your kid good values. You're teaching your kid to treat everybody fairly. Don't be just teaching your kid good values. Treating people well, not treating people based off of the color of their skin, and more so off the content of their character. And for your young teenage boy or your young daughter to get a text messages on her phone telling your young daughter, your young son, you have been selected to pick cotton. That's got to be heartbreaking. That's got to be very heartbreaking. And how does a parent really how do you break that down? How do you break that down to your kid? How do you break that down to your kid? How do you break that down to your daughter? That we have people this deplorable and this idiotic sending this type of messaging to young kids. Let's continue.
Has the details. He's joining us right now. Tell us more of what you're learning about what they're doing about this, Gabe.
Well, Kate, first off, it looks like this is more widespread than we had expected, with people in at least 24 states now having reported receiving these messages. And these texts are not just upsetting, but they are alarming. They are personalized and
personalized racist text messages. Now, listen, if just some hunky texts your phone talking about racist jargon, that's like, okay, you can kind of brush that off. But for it to be personalized, where they're putting your name and possibly your address, sensitive information, that's very disturbing. That's very scary.
Oh my God!
That's very disturbing and very scary. Now, here we are in America, where the election has just taken place. A lot of people are optimistic about the future, but a lot of people are scared about the future, where we're headed, where we're going, the type of leadership that we are now about to receive by way of Donald J. Trump. This is very unsettling. Whether you're a Trump supporter or whether you're a Kamala Harris supporter, you would have to admit that this is, unsettling. And I am in no way putting this on the Trump campaign. The Trump campaign, they ran a great campaign. I don't believe that they were. I don't believe that the Trump campaign had anything to do with this, or had any influence on this. But you're gonna have radicalized people in any sector, just like you have radicalized people in the left wing agenda, the liberals, the lefties. You're gonna have radicals in every space. But this is very unsettling. Let's continue.
Many of them specifically target black and brown individuals. Some of them students, some of them children. I want to show you one of the texts. It was sent.
Now, how do you explain this to your young son? Like I said, how do you explain this to your young son, your young daughter? Your young daughter, just like I'm saying, some of you have kids, some of you have young daughters, young men that you're raising, young women that you're raising. Here you are, a good parent, sending your kid to school, teaching them morals and values and treating people fairly and right and righteously and doing everything that you can, right? You know, maybe you live in an affluent community where you're not dealing with any type of, racism or any type of prejudice in your community. And here your kid comes back home from a long day at school, and he says, "Mommy, look at the text message that I got. They're asking me to pick cotton." How do you break that down to your son? How do you break that down to your daughter? You know, how do you articulate, you know, the racism that is clearly alive and well in America? How do you articulate that? And like I said, clearly this is a younger person. This is not an old person doing this. This is a young man. This is probably a radicalized Trump youth, white, Anglo-Saxon, probably skilled in sending these types of messages to people. How do you articulate to your young daughter or your son that these people exist, and they have this type of prejudice against you? Here we are thinking that the youth coming up before us, the youth coming, the next generations of us, the Generation Zs and the younger generations coming of age. Here we are thinking that this will be the generation that will put racism to bed. This is the generation that will finally put racism to bed, the PC agenda, the woke agenda. We are seeing that dream will never come true. And I want to give a shout out to Troy Terrain. A lot of you know him as Star of the Star Report. Salute to Troy Terrain. I consider him one of my mentors. He taught me a long time ago. He taught me a long time ago that racism will always exist. Racism will always exist due to privatized banking. The fact that we have a system of privatized banking. Now I can get a little bit into it, but maybe I'm gonna get into it a little bit later because I want to focus on this. But due to privatized banking, racism will always be an institution in America. I'll probably go through that a little bit later. I want to stay on topic with these racist text messages that young men and women have been receiving. Young kids as young as middle schoolers. I want to stay on this topic, but we'll probably talk about how racism will always be a factor in America due to privatized banking. But let's continue with this topic.
Sent to us by a woman in New Jersey. The text has her name written at the top of it.
Now think about how scary that is. Here you are, you're dealing with this racist person texting your daughter, your young son. So you're already dealing with the aspect of, the racism, the prejudice, the rhetoric that you're trying to shield your child away from. You're trying to shield your child away from this racism. A lot of these parents that are parents today, they understand what racism. A lot of them were, alive and well when racism was prevalent. A lot of your parents, like I know my mom and my father, my mom and my dad, they grew up in the 60s. So they know what it's like, maybe not like as they don't probably know as well as the generation before them, like my grandmother, but they know what it's like, for the colored water fountains, sitting at the back of the bus, the Martin Luther King out there in the civil rights movement. They understand what that's like. So here you are, as a young parent, a lot of young parents, they're probably millennials like me, maybe a little bit older generation Xers. Here you are trying to shield your child away from this. Show them that the world is better. The world is healing. The world is moving forward from this type of nonsense, from this type of ideology. but you have to deal with this on your child's text messages in his phone. And to add to the disrespect, to add to the vileness, the message is personalized.
Oh my God!
The message is personalized. So now you're dealing with an invasion of privacy. How does this person know my daughter or my young son's name? How do they have this information? How are they personalizing this racist rhetoric to my young son and my young daughter's phone? We got 100 people in the building. I need y'all to hit that like button. I need y'all to hit that subscribe button. We got 100 people in the building standing stall. I need y'all to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Angela says, kids need to know we live in a world where evil exists. It is a teachable moment for those kids. I agree. But a lot of parents are not thinking like that as well, Angela. You have to understand that, we live in an era where, it's PC agenda. I remember when I was growing up in school, we didn't have things like, teaching kids about LGBTQ and things of that nature. We didn't have things like that. When I was coming up, it wasn't an era of acceptance. These things were a priority. The era that these kids are growing up in today, it's a PC agenda. It's all encompassing. It's treating people of different races fairly and right. It's being understanding of people from different communities, whether they be LGBTQ plus. A lot of people are looking at that younger generation, the generation coming after us, as the generation that will get things right, the generation that we can teach and that we can show that, or we can, evolve from racism, evolve from, looking at LGBTQ people in a prejudiced way. People are looking at that generation as the next generation. And a lot of, young parents, they don't want this type of rhetoric on their son's phone, on their daughter's phone. I know I wouldn't want that on my daughter's phone, even as a teachable moment. That's not the moment that you should be teaching your kid. The moment for you to be teaching your kid about racism is in the household, not in a text message. A lot of people, when they pick up their phones, when they're holding their phone, this is their protection. This is their protection. This is their form of entertainment. This is what they live their life on. This is what they this is everything to them. So for you to take this object and to send racist jargon to a young person's phone, I think that's wrong. I need y'all to hit that like button. I need you to hit that subscribe button. We got about 160 plus people in the building. I need y'all to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you have anything to add to the dialogue, anything to add to the discussion, please put it in a super chat. We read all super chats. We read all donations. If you're a black or a Hispanic person, have you received any racist text messages to your phone? I live in New York. I did not receive any text messages, but they're saying as much as 7 states are reporting that Black Americans, even brown people in the Hispanic community, have received text messages, personalized, calling on them to pick cotton.
Oh my God!
Yeah. People are reporting around the country that these messages are happening. I just want to know if anybody in here, have you received any of these text messages? Have you, I think that's absolutely deplorable. I think it's disgusting. Let's continue, though.
As you can see right there, and it references picking cotton, it references slave catchers and plantations. And some of the messages specifically reference President-elect Trump. Now, to be clear, the Trump campaign has told several media outlets that they had absolutely nothing to do with this. But as you can imagine,
I think that's crazy that they had to even tell anybody that they had anything to do with it. I mean, Denise King says it's a new day. Break that down to us, Denise. Break that down to us. Denise King. Salute to Denise King. Denise King says it's a new day. Break that down to us, Denise. I need you to articulate. You know, type as much as you want in that chat section. Denise King, I want you to articulate about the new day approaching us. Let us know. I need you to break that down for us, Denise. I'm waiting on your I'm waiting for your chat. But let's get back into this.
Many people are really on edge in these days since the election. I want to play for you what a Colorado mother said after her 16-year-old son got.
So even in Colorado, these messages are reaching as far as Colorado. Calling on kids to pick cotton. Now remember, these are not messages being sent to adults. These are not messages being sent to adults. These are not even messages being sent to these are not even messages being sent to people that voted. Because they're saying that these messages reached middle schoolers, high schoolers, some college-educated kids. So those are the ones that probably voted. But relatively, these are messages that reached young kids. Young kids. Let's continue.
One of these texts. Take a listen.
It's very tense. It's very scary for a lot of individuals. The fact that it happened the day after, Election Day, it really speaks to what I think is going on here.
And the president of the NAACP put out a statement saying these messages represent an alarming increase in vile and abhorrent rhetoric from racist groups across the country who now feel emboldened to spread hate and stoke the flames of fear that many of us are feeling.
Are Trump supporters racist? The majority in here is saying no. The majority is saying no. Now, I'm sure we have some Kamala Harris supporters in here. Salute to you guys. I know a lot of you guys are licking your wounds. But do you agree with that rhetoric? I mean, let's be honest. Now, Trump supporters, I need y'all to be honest. Be honest here, right? Be honest. Now, Trump has, a lot of rhetoric that, let's just say, entices sectors of people who probably dislike other sectors of people. I think that you guys could admit that. I think that when you hear Donald Trump, talk about illegal immigrants, in the fashion that he does, I would think that some people that feel racist or have some type of prejudice against Hispanic people would be enticed by that, would be loving that rhetoric, or would be fanning the flames of that type of rhetoric. Now, the same could be said when it comes to black people. The same could be said when it comes to any race of people, right? I think that you Trump supporters should at least admit that Trump's rhetoric fans the flames of some racist ideology. I think that you guys should at least admit that. You guys could at least admit that. Now, if you don't want to, again, I'm not calling Trump a racist. I'm not saying that every Trump supporter is a racist, but I think that you guys should at least admit that some of the rhetoric of Donald Trump and, the people he's platformed, whether it be via the campaign rallies or the, wherever he had them on stage at, it fans the flames of racist sects of that, of his supporters. I don't think that's crazy to think that. Sinclair says, whoever sent these intentions was to further divide people. I just read these names were purchased. Yeah, listen, I agree with that. I definitely agree that these messages were meant to divide Americans. And, clearly, and again, I'm not saying that these text messages came from a group, and clearly this is probably one person or maybe a sector of people, maybe 5 or 6 people, that are educated in this, sending chain text messages. and sending them to people. Clearly, these are a small sector of people doing this, but excuse me, these people that are behind these text messages clearly represent a sector of how some people are feeling, whether it be towards, immigrants, whether it be towards Black Americans, whether it be towards, people that, they don't like or, have, prejudice against. Let's continue.
After Tuesday's election results. And Sarah, there are investigations underway all over.
Angela says, please smash that like button. Help us get this likes up to 100 or better. That's a fact. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button right now.
Oh my God!
I need you guys to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you have anything to add to the dialogue, anything to add to the discussion, please put in the super chat. We read all super chats. We read all donations. Let's get back into it.
Over the country at this point to figure out who is behind this. It does appear at least some of them, these messages, were sent out using a service called Text Now.
Now, anybody familiar with Text Now? I've used Text Now before. Please don't ask me what I've used it for. I may have been possibly trying to cheat on someone, and I was trying to use different technologies to access cheating. But yeah, I definitely have used Text Now before. I'm familiar with Text Now. Text Now is definitely, it's been around for a while, so I'm very familiar with Text Now. Let's continue.
Allows people to create phone numbers for free.
That's a fact.
That company, Text Now, tells us in a statement, we believe this is a widespread, coordinated attack, and we are now working alongside our industry partners to uncover more details and continue.
It was a long time ago, Richard. It was a long time ago, man. Text Now has been around for a very long time. Like, we're talking about, I think Text Now, I was using Text Now like in 2014, I believe. Had to be like 2014, 2015. This is a long time ago I was using Text Now. Yeah, this was a very long time ago.
Continue to monitor patterns to actively block any new accounts attempting to send these messages. And the FBI is also on this. They put out a statement saying that they're aware of the messages. And Sarah, they say they're in contact with the Justice Department and other federal authorities. So a lot of folks are on this right now.
I want to see whoever sent these text messages. I want to see them brought to justice. I want to see whoever sent those text messages in Guantanamo Bay. If it was up to me. Salute to Stacy Galore. Salute to Stacy Galore. Good to see you, Stacy Galore. Stacy Galore says, I've had several Text Now numbers for years. That's a fact. And Stacy, keep it a buck. You was using those text messages to cheat on somebody, right? Keep it a buck. You was cheating, right? Or maybe another reason why people were using text messages, Text Now, was also to, like, you didn't want to give somebody your real number, so you was like, I'll use Text Now instead of using my real number. I don't want you to have my real number, so I'll give you my Text Now number. Stacy Galore says, for business. Yeah, salute to Stacy Galore. Y'all make sure y'all check out Stacy Galore's page and check out all her content and check out Stacy Galore. You run a business, right, Stacy Galore? Yeah, I be seeing you on the Star Report. You know what I mean? Salute to Stacy Galore, man. She be showing love to my man Star, man. That's one of my mentors, man. Salute to Stacy Galore, though. Yeah, but for business, listen, man, I understand though, because people use it for business as well. But I remember when Text Now came out, like I remember when I first heard about it, I was using it to like, cheat, to cheat. I'm gonna be honest with you, I was using it to cheat and to like, stuff of that nature, cheat. I didn't want to give, certain people my real numbers. It was, that's what I was using it for. I wasn't necessarily using it, for anything good for like when I was using it. So when I heard it was Text Now that they were using this from, I was kind of like, okay, Text Now. Okay. I didn't know they were still using Text Now, but that's something interesting.
Now, a lot of agencies, it's not clear though, if they have it completely shut down at this point.
Gabe Cohen, thank you so much for your reporting there. Appreciate it.
The FBI is investigating a string of racist messages sent to Black Americans across the U.S. This is one of the disturbing texts, and I'm sorry we have to put.
Yeah, that's disturbing. How do you break that down to your kids? How are you going to break down this type of messaging to your kids? Here you are, you're trying to shield your kids from this type of rhetoric. If I had a young daughter or a young son growing up in this era, growing up in this age, this age of acceptance, this age of, accepting people, no matter their sexual orientation or, how they choose to live their lives or what the color of their skin, their ethnicity, their race, you got to understand the era that we're raising kids in. This is not the era that I was raised in or the era before me. This is not the era of that. When I was coming up, people weren't accepting of people that were different, whether they were, in the LGBTQ community or whether they were, of different countries or, they were a little bit weird or this or that. Like people were not accepting of people when I was coming up. This is a new day and era. We live in the PC era. We live in the woke era where people are accepting, and it's very disheartening to see black kids, because clearly they're targeting black kids. They're targeting black and brown kids. It's very disheartening that black and brown kids are being targeted like this.
Fire! 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 Fire!
Let's continue. And let's read. Actually, let me read this message. It says, greetings. I don't want to say the young woman's name. It's on the screen. You have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Please be ready at 8 a.m. sharp with your belongings. Our executive slave catchers pick you up in a brown van. Be prepared to be searched once you've entered the plantation. You are in plantation group 7. That's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And you're not going to tell me, and salute to Angela. Salute to Angela. Angela was like, this is a teachable moment. I disagree that this is a teachable moment. This is a teachable moment. Angela, imagine if a LGBTQ plus kid received a text message on his phone like this in an affluent white community. They would flip that community upside down.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
If LGBTQ plus kids in a white affluent community received text messages that were personalized, disrespecting them and violating them for their sexual orientation and how they choose to live their lives, they would flip that white community upside down. There will be a federal, and I'm happy that there's a federal investigation on this. It needs to be. But people will be held responsible for what happened here. Now, it can be a teachable moment, but people need to be held accountable. Let's be honest here. Let's get back into it.
Put this up on screens. It reads, you have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Again, for the folks listening on the radio, I am reading quotes from this text and references executive slave catchers. Children and college students got messages like this. One mother in Houston said her daughter, who was in high school, received one as well. Let's listen to this.
She said it's a message that her and some of her friends received.
Now look at this black woman. Look at this black queen right here on the screen right here. She's probably working hard, sending her kid to school, doing everything she can. She shouldn't have to explain the racist ideology of the world right now. Give this black mother some slack. Give her some freedom. She got to break down to her teenage daughter the racist ideology of the world. Trump supporters. I want to hear from the Trump supporters. I want to hear the Trump supporters. Listen. Kamala Harris, you have slayed the Democratic dragon known as Kamala Harris. You have slayed the Democratic dragon. It's time to take some accountability. I know you guys have, dodged accountability because, you were powered by Donald Trump, a man who doesn't take any accountability, respectfully. And when I'm saying this, I'm not saying this sarcastic. I kind of admire how he doesn't have to take accountability. I kind of admire it. But for you, Trump supporters that are rational in your thinking, can you at least take some accountability to call out the racist sect of the Trump supporters and the people in that racist sect of the Trump supporter campaign and the people that exist? They do exist. That's all. Sinclair says the FBI says it was routed through Poland. Really? They're claiming that these text messages were routed by Poland, or somebody says Russia. Routed through Poland or Russia. Listen, man. Still, we still talking about the whites here. We still talking about the whites here. And let's be honest, that racist sect, still exists in America. It does exist. There's a lot of people that vibe with these messages that absolutely thought it cracked up at these messages that were sent to black kids and black and brown kids. Let's continue.
And so I'm like, which friends? And so she said, all of my black friends. To have somebody threaten their lives or threaten their livelihood or threaten their family's livelihood, it becomes uncomfortable. This should not be sent to any student, black, brown, blue, purple, yellow, whatever.
That's a fact. I agree with the
phone
sister.
Services company tells CNN that some of the racist messages were sent by accounts on their messaging app. The company says it has disabled those accounts. And to be clear, CNN does not have a clear answer of who sent these. That is still under investigation. But Talia Jones joins us now. She received this text we showed earlier. Talia,
I guess this sister, she must have received the text messages. I think the sister right here received the text message.
As we were just explaining a few moments ago, people in states across the eastern half of the United States, it appears, received these text messages. You got one as well. And some out west, you can see it there on screen. What was your reaction?
Hey, I need y'all to hit that like button. We only got 20 likes in the building. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit it to the beat. 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 If you are listening to the sounds of my voice, I know it sounds smooth. seductive in your ear. I need you to hit the like button. Not now, but right now. Listen. I know that you are taking all of this in, all of this beauty, all of this handsomeness, all of this gloriousness. That is me. Take it in. But I need you to click these 3 dots on the side and hit that like button. Not now, but right now. Yeah, hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button right now. Hit that like button, man. You know? If you guys have anything to add to the dialogue, anything to add to the discussion, please put it in the super chat. We read all super chats. We read all donations. That's an absolute fact. Give me 1 second, y'all. Sinclair says True is modest. Yeah, I'm very modest. You know, I'm very modest. I think I'm modest. Let's continue.
Reaction when you got this message on your phone.
My first reaction was kind of like shock, because you know when you see something, you're like, let me look again to make sure like I'm really seeing what I'm seeing. The kind of feeling I had, and then I immediately sent it to my mom and my sister in our group chat, and we were all just like,
Damn, she's sending the messages to her mom, her auntie. Damn, I wonder why she did. I mean, maybe she just wanted to show them the type of rhetoric that was going around during election night. I wouldn't have sent that to my mom. I would have probably showed her the text, but I definitely wouldn't have sent that to my mom. My mom voted for Kamala Harris, so I definitely wouldn't have sent that to my mom. But yeah, I mean, I guess she just wanted to show them the type of rhetoric that was going around during election night. I mean, it's disheartening. It's very deplorable type of very deplorable that they sent that around.
what is going on in the world? There's no way that it's 2024 and things like this are happening again, and it's just insane, like the level of disrespect that people have for other humans. It's crazy.
And I'm just wondering, Talia, I mean, what did it feel like? I had to think that it hurt. I mean, I have to think that it hurt when you got that message. What was going through your mind? How did it?
I mean, any Black American getting a text message like that, I mean, that's just disgusting. I mean, and you know what I'm trying to really get to the meat and potatoes here. I mean, imagine if this was personalized to the Jewish community. Imagine if this was personalized to the LGBTQ community. Imagine if this was personalized to the Hispanic community. You know? This is the type of rhetoric that, you know, if you have kids in any of these minority communities, you're trying to shield them away from this rhetoric. You know? Yeah, you like as a parent, you understand that racism exists. As a parent, you understand that prejudice exists. But you still are not trying to have your child be a victim of it. You're still not trying to have your child be, you know, hit with the harsh reality of racism and racist ideology. So yes, we want to teach our kids. We want to bring our kids, have them realize that the world is not easy and people will dislike you, no matter who you are, what you believe in, or the color of your skin, or no matter what it is, people will dislike you for that. But as a parent, your job is to protect. Your job is to protect, and that could feel like almost like you losing a battle in terms of protection. You losing a battle in terms of protecting them from this rhetoric, from this type of ideology. Again, plenty of parents, they can't protect their kids all the time. They can't protect their kids, from racism, whether it be in the text messages or whether it be, whether they're dealing with it in school from a student or a teacher or it's very disheartening. Let's continue.
Feel.
So first it was shock, and then I think it was more anger than like sadness, because it's just like, who do you think you are to send these out? It became sadness when I realized that young people were getting it, like elementary schoolers and middle schoolers
elementary kids. I seen somebody in the chat says, tell them to ignore it. We're talking about elementary kids here. We're not talking about adults. Yeah, okay. Like, let me be honest. If somebody texts me talking about picking cotton and all that, I'm gonna tell them go suck my what, and delete the text message. And I would probably ignore it. But we're talking about kids here. I mean, if there's any sector of people that should be protected, should be protected. If there's any sector of people in our world, in our country, that should be protected, I would think it would be the kids.
Oh my
I mean, if there's anybody to protect from racism, if there's anybody to protect from prejudice, if there's anybody to protect from this type of ideology, I would think it would be the kids. Am I crazy to think that? Like, I'm not worried about adults. I'm not worried about black adults getting these types of text messages. I'm worried about the kids. I'm worried about the kids that are still, finding themselves, finding their identities. They're in their formative years. They don't fully grasp racism. They're just, coming to age and having to deal with that type of rhetoric. Dealing with the mindset, the depression of it, the realization of it. And like I said, if there's anybody that should be protected from this type of ideology, this type of rhetoric, I would think it would be the kids. Am I crazy to think that? Because somebody said, they just tell them to ignore it and yada, yada, yada. They're kids. And let's be honest, the kids, they live their lives on these social media platforms, Kids, they live their lives on these phones. Whether it be Instagram, the TikToks, the Facebooks, the Twitters, all of the different social media platforms, they live their lives on these things. So if you're telling me to ignore it, you're telling me they should ignore it and delete text messages. These kids live on these damn phones. They live their lives. This phone is everything to them. Let's be honest here. Let's continue, though. Let's continue.
Oblivious to what's going on. And it's like they're so innocent. And it's like, why would you want to intentionally hurt somebody that you don't even know? So it was definitely like shock, anger, and sadness all in one.
Yeah, what do you think about the timing of all this? The president and CEO of the NAACP released a statement saying, in part, the unfortunate reality of electing a president who historically has embraced and at times encouraged hate is unfolding before our eyes. We had an election this week. What do you think of the timing?
Somebody says, glowing says, man, write that or playing outside and drink. You got to understand that these kids are not from our generation. These kids don't know what it's like to, play outside all day and fall off a bike and get scabs on their knees. These kids don't know what it's like to, stay out late all night, until the street lights come on. Salute to Travis Duthie with the $2 donation. Salute to you, sir. He says the video where Trump is stopping child sex change. What video was that? Is that the video from the Breakfast Club? Travis says the video where Trump is stopping child sex change. What video was that? He's stopping child sex change? I've never seen that. He stopped a child from getting their sex change. I've never seen that. I don't want to see it, but I've never seen that. Can you break that down? There's a video where Trump is stopping. Listen, I'm definitely not for that. I don't think that children should have their gender changed. I think that should that child should make that decision when they become of age. When a child comes of age, when the child is 18, they can make whatever decision they feel like. If they feel like they want to change their gender or whatever, that's their decision. They're adults. I don't think that children should have that right. We have to protect our children. We have to protect the sanctity of our children, bro. I mean, I don't believe in all that. How Dwayne Wade is. I don't believe in all of that. Or the Carter family. Travis says the Carter family. I'm not aware of that. The Carter family, I'm not aware of that. The Carter family. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me just Google something real quick. You said the Carter family. I'm not aware of that, Travis. Trump Carter family. Give me 1 second. Oh, I'm typing things wrong here. Give me 1 second. I'm not aware of that though. I'm not aware. KTR family, right? Carter. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Major backlash after announcing support for Trump. Yeah, I'm not aware. I'm not aware on this. I can't really speak to this. I'm not aware of it. Yeah, I don't know nothing about Trump and children gender changes and stuff like that. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Like I said, I don't agree with that. I don't think that children should have that right. They're children. If we're gonna all agree, and I agree that children's young people, that their minds are not developed right, and they're still developing, they're still in their formative years. How are we giving children that right to change their gender? I remember when I was a kid. I liked G.I. Joes, Batman, and lollipops, and Jolly Ranchers. I was a different person back then. Now I'm a grown man. I like titties, ass, beer, wine. I'm a different man now. If when I was a kid, when I was 5, 6 years old, it was all about Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, Jolly Ranchers. So just because a kid identifies with that lifestyle or whatever, I don't know why people are I don't agree with that. I'm just leave it there. Travis says the Cartier family is on YouTube. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Cartier family. I'm not familiar with the Cartier family on YouTube. They're like they're a reactionary channel, right? I'm looking at their content right now. Okay, the Cartier family. What they do like reaction videos, right? Okay, child. Hold on, give me 1 second. Yeah, they're like a reactionary video. I'm not gonna look at their reactionary content. I'm here doing my own content right now. But I see what you're saying. Give me 1 second. Yeah, that's crazy though. Let's get back into salute to Travis though for the donation. Salute to Travis. Get back into it.
Definitely strategically planned. I received the text at like 2 p.m. on Wednesday, so not even a full 24 hours after we got the election results. So I feel like this was something that was definitely premeditated. They felt like the Republicans were going to win. Donald Trump was going to be elected into office again. So they were just ready to go. And it just really shows we thought we came far from where we were hundreds of years ago, but honestly, we have not at all, clearly.
And do you know anybody else who got this message?
Not personally. When I got on social media later that day, I saw that a lot of different people had gotten them, but nobody that I knew personally. But I did see that everybody who received the text was a person of color, for sure.
Yeah, so these were personalized to black people, personalized to black and brown people. Clearly, this was a targeted effort, no matter where it came from, targeting young people, black and brown.
And what do you hope people take away from this? I mean, to me, I'm incredibly sad hearing about it. I know you were angry, but I'm just incredibly sad.
I need y'all to hit that like button. Hit that like button. We got 100 people in the building. Hit that like button. Hit that damn subscribe button. Hit that like button. Like I said, I know that I am the most handsome man you have ever seen in your life. I get it. I get it. I get it. I know that you would rather stare at me, hear my soft, soothing, seductive, masculine voice. But I need you to do me a favor, hit that like button, you know? Hit that like button, man. All right, come on now. Hit that like button. I get it. Hit the damn like button. You know, it don't cost you nothing. You know, hit that damn like button, hit that subscribe button, man. It don't cost you nothing. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's continue.
Hearing about this, but what do you want people to think about this weekend after getting this kind of a text?
For the people that voted the way that they voted, I want them to recognize this is the person that you voted for. This is the type of people that back him.
Now, I will say this. I don't think that's fair to just, you know, make it indicative of the Trump campaign. I don't think that that's fair. Now, if you want to, you know, bash the people that support him, I don't have a problem with that because, Trump's rhetoric and, the things that he said has created the environment for this type of rhetoric and these things to be sent. But I don't think you could blame Trump's campaign fully. I don't think that's fair. If you want to point fingers at the Trump supporters, I don't have a problem with that. But I mean, Trump, I don't think that's fair to just, make it indicative of his whole campaign. I don't think that's fair. But you could point fingers at the Trump supporters because they empower Trump to say these things or to say, rhetoric that influenced these things. So I don't have a problem with them pointing fingers, at Trump supporters because they empower Trump to say, things of that, things that are, of poor taste, off color, whatever you may.
Insane, because at the end of the day, we're all humans, and I hope people take that. It's like we all bleed the same blood. Like there's nothing difference between me and you, between a black person, a white person, a Spanish person. It doesn't matter. And I just feel like people need to really take into account that at the end of the day, we're all humans.
Denise says that's why it's a choice, him/her. I disagree with that, Denise. I disagree. Listen, Denise, salute to Denise. I think that, listen, Kamala Harris lost not because, it's a decision between him and her. I still think that, Democrats are licking their wounds. They're trying to figure out what went wrong. And I think that they're very tone deaf. I think the Democrats are tone deaf to where the country is right now. This presidential race was never about him and her. It was more so about where the Democrats were trying to take this country, the fact that it was going in the wrong direction, and 80 to 90% of America feels that way. And, Trump telling people that he was going to fix these things. I don't think it was ever about him versus her. The majority of Americans feel that the country is being run poorly. When you look at inflation, when you look at the economy, when you look at immigration, majority of this country feels like it's being run, poorly. So I don't think that it was ever, people are trying to make it, nobody wanted to vote for a woman and people are sexist and misogynist and she's a black woman and that's why she didn't get voted for. I highly, highly disagree. I think that people are making this whole presidential race a little too simplistic. That it's just about race and gender. No. It's about ideology. It's about people feeling that, you know, you have been ignoring their wants and their needs. It's about the American people feeling like they've been put to the back burner and the Democrats just don't get it. That's what I think that this election was about. I mean, when you look at how Trump, you know, absolutely massacred her. I mean, it was a landslide victory. I mean, how could you not look at that and say clearly the Democrats are tone deaf? Clearly the Democrats are not tapped into how the average American is feeling, what they're dealing with. I mean, how could you not look at how they lost the Senate, you know, how they lost the House, how they lost the presidential seat? How could you not look at that and see that the Democrats are clearly tone deaf? Yeah, you know, I mean I really think that people are trying to simplify it, where it's just, it was him against her, and it's gender and sex, and that's why people didn't want to vote for Kamala. No. People are thinking about their pocketbooks. People are thinking about their livelihoods in America. People are thinking about the fact that you're an American and you're being treated like a secondary citizen and you're a naturalized citizen, you know? And I still feel like, and I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I have to say, this is very important. I have to say this. If the Democrats do not revamp their party, revamp it. And I'm talking about from top to bottom. You got to get rid of all of the bootlicking, butter biscuit eating Democratic Negroes like Reverend R. Sharpton, Roland Martin, Van Jones. You got to get rid of all of them, because clearly they're not getting their message through to black people. You got to get rid of all of them. You got to get a new crop of people with young, fresh ideologies and new fresh. You got to get people that are tapped into the American blue collar workers. You got to get young, fresh faces that that want a better tomorrow for America. You got to get rid of the whole regime from top to bottom. I'm talking about from the political correspondents to the people you got there in the grassroots, to the people that are in these cities. You got to work from top to bottom. You're going to need new faces in new cities, new governors, new senators, fresh faces, new ideologies. They have to be more tapped in to the everyday man, the 9-to-5 worker. You know, the people that make up this country. The Democrats, if they don't revamp the party, they are in danger of being extinct. Yeah, the Democrats are in danger of being extinct. If they don't revamp this party, you're going to have to get rid of Jim Crow Joe. Tell Jim Crow Joe you never want to see him at a rally, never want to see him at a campaign. You're going to have to get rid of Barry O, Barack Obama. You're going to have to get rid of Nancy Pelosi. You're going to have to get rid of all of the old guard. Get rid of all of the old guard. And show to America that we have a new fresh face. We have new ideologies. We want to work with the American people. We want to work with the blue class. The middle class, blue collar worker. You're gonna have to really win the American people over again. And if you don't, then you're gonna be in danger of being an extinct party. And it's crazy because, the Republicans at one point, they were in this boat at one point in time. They were in this boat at one point in time until Trump came along. And then Trump kind of rejuvenated the Republican Party, kind of rejuvenated that energy, rejuvenated, how people were moving, how they were talking to people, That's what they need. They need new faces. They need new faces in the Democratic Party. They have to get rid of the old guard. But let's continue with this topic here.
And what you do directly affects other people, and there will be consequences to those actions.
You're absolutely right about that. That is a great message.
Somebody said, what is the boss topic? Today's topic, we are talking about black kids being targeted by racist Trump supporters. Black and brown kids were targeted, via chain text messages that were personalized, calling on black and brown kids to pick cotton, talks of slave catching and things of that nature. That's what we're talking about today, and we're also talking about, as a caveat, are Trump supporters racist? Respectfully, And I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying there's clearly a sector of people that feel like this, have this type of ideology. I'm just asking if Trump supporters are racist. Let me know.
It means a lot to me that you said it and you shared this story with us. Apparently, we're just hearing now in the last couple of minutes, Talia, that it's now up to 21 states.
21 states
where people receive these text messages.
21 states.
It's just awful.
And it's crazy because you would think that, I don't know, I would think that immediately people would find out where it's coming from and shut it down. So the fact that it's still happening today, which is Friday, 48 hours later, is just crazy.
Yeah. Well, it says everything about the person who sent this text, not the people who received it. Talia Jones, thank you very much for talking to us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
There it is, man. There it is. There it is. I just want to talk about this topic because, listen, I'm a Black American man, foundational Black. I think that these messages are deplorable, disgusting. I think that whoever sent those messages need to be, held accountable. Need to be held accountable for those messages. And, people want to act like it's not a big deal. I even see an idiot in the chat talking about, oh, those messages are funny. Blah, 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 blah. You wouldn't think it was funny if it was your community. Whether you're, no matter what community you are, whether you're a European Jewish, whether you're Black, whether you're LGBTQ, no matter what community you come from, if the children, now keep in mind, these are children. We're not talking about adults. If these messages were being sent to adults, I could have a little bit more of, okay, these are adults. They could just kind of write it off as, whatever, just some racist idiot sending messages, whatever, ignore, block the message. We're talking about kids being targeted here. We're talking about kids being sent racist ideology and jargon. Now, like I said, if anybody needs to be protected, if anybody in this country needs to be protected, if anybody needs a cloak of protection in this country, I would think it would be the kids.
Oh my God!
I would think it would be the kids. I think the kids deserve the protection. I think the kids deserve the protection. And, I could write it off if it was adults, but when you're talking about kids being sent this type of messages, I'm not going to fly for that. I think that that's wrong. I think that it's disgusting. I think it's deplorable. And the people that sent those messages should be held accountable. I don't care how old they are. They could, the person who sent that message, to be honest, they could have been as young as 16. Because if you know anything about a lot of these young kids, they know a lot about computers. They know a lot about technology. Very articulate. I even saw a story about a young man, not a young man, a young boy, had to be prepubescent, probably 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, how he took millions of dollars out of a bank, and he was so he was just so well versed in computers and things of that nation. He was actually able to take millions of dollars out of a bank and put it in his dad's account. Like, these kids are very articulate when it comes to the computer. So it could be some young, for what I believe, I think it's a young man, possibly under the age of 20, 21, that's probably behind this. He needs to be brought to justice. The people behind it should be brought to justice. And if it was your community, you wouldn't think it was funny. Let's be honest. If it was your community, you wouldn't think it would be funny, But back, into what I'm said, I hope you guys took into consideration what I said. I just want to come with a late night story, a late night topic. I thought this was a very interesting story. Yeah, man. But that's about it. That's all I'm going to say. Listen, you guys have a productive week. I want to give a salute to Sinclair, a salute to Angela, I want to give a salute to all the mods. If this is your first time here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe this video. You know, if this is your first time here, come on back. Come on back to the parade. Come on back to the show. Come on back to the show that never ends, the check-in report. Hoping to see you guys again. But with that being said, you guys have a productive weekend, a good weekend. And God willing, we'll see you guys again, man. I think I'm going to do a video tomorrow. I was going to do another video today, but it's kind of late. It's like 2 in the morning at this point in time. It's kind of late. I started late. So I think we're going to reconvene tomorrow and with a new topic, new things to talk about. Still going to talk about some more politics. Still have a lot to discuss about that. But with that being said, you guys have a good night, man. We are out. Toodles.